Myself, Professor Vijay Kumar, presenting a paper in the national webinar of Lucknow University. I am a retired professor and head of the economics department, Kakatiya Government College, Hanmakonda, affiliated to Kakatiya University, Warangal, Telangana. Now, gender gap is a burning problem of the globe at present. Actually, what is gender gap? Gender gap is nothing but the differences between women and men, especially about 4 parameters, that is economic participation, opportunity, educational attainment, health, political empowerment. The global gender gap measure was introduced by the World Economic Forum in 2006. The index prepared by the World Economic Forum has benchmarked 156 countries across the globe in 2021. The data has shown that it will take another 136 years to bridge the gender gap worldwide. And the pandemic has impacted women more severely than men. The gap is the widest on the political empowerment dimension, with the economic participation and opportunity being the next in line. However, there is a little bit improvement in health and survival. Now I will review the gender gap, especially when we take India. It has slipped 28 places and has been ranked 140th among 156 nations participating in the rankings. The most gender equal country in the world is Iceland, continues to be the top, and it has been in the first position since 2 years. Globally, the average distance completed to parity is at 68%, a step back compared to 2020. The figures are mainly driven by a decline in the performance of large countries. Now, I go to the next slide. Let us see where we stand. India is the third worst performer among South Asian countries, with Pakistan and Afghanistan trailing and Bangladesh being at the top. The report states that the country fared the worst in political empowerment, regressing from 23.9% to 9.1%. Its ranking on health and survival dimensions is among the 5 worst performers. The economic participation and opportunity gap saw a decline of 3% compared to 2020, while educational attainment front, India is the 114th position. So, the gender gap in India has widened to 62.5% due to women's inadequate representation in politics, technical and leadership roles. Decrease in women's labor force participation rate, poor health care, lagging female to male literacy ratio, income inequality. These are some of the points for low performance. Causes for gender gap in India: so variation in labor participation in wages, and also property ownerships inequalities, that is in favor of sons. Educational inequalities are there, literacy inequalities, health inequalities. The male child is given more importance regarding health, and also is also schooling, that is in education. Violence is also against women is increasing. Political inequalities are there, poverty is there, and illiteracy, lack of employment facilities, social customs, beliefs and practices. That is giving more importance to the male child. Social attitude is also against women. Lack of awareness among women also is important. They themselves doesn't know what are the facilities provided by the government. Suggestions. Regarding the suggestions, I say that let the women change their attitude against another woman, because the women, they themselves degrade them. They look downward to another woman, and also men also they think woman is inferior to them. This attitude must change in our society. Gender discrimination is there. Both boys and girls should be treated equal in all aspects. According to United Nations Fund for Population Activities projection, by the year 2025, a significant share of men above 30 still remain single and not able to marry, or sometimes will never be able to marry at all. Men in states like Haryana, Punjab are already experiencing nearly 20% deficit of marriageable women. So if it continues, in future also the men won't get women to marry. Women empowerment. In the simplest words, basically women empowerment means the creation of environment where women can make independent decisions on their own and shine as equals to men in our society. Education of women is a powerful tool, and so education levels in female must increase, also nutrition level also should be increased. And even now we say nowadays in the current times also child marriages are going on, and so though government kept 18 years as the marriageable age to girl child and 21 to male, but so this is not sufficient, and 18 years is to be raised. So much concern was there. So government of India recognized this point, and it raised the age of girl from 18 to 21. So it's a welcome step, so that the girl will get more maturity and think of her counterpart. Decision making. Enhancing women's decision making is a powerful tool, and especially it comes from the household, from house and next to society. Equal access. Equal access is very important regarding participation, decision making in all social, political and economic life of the nation. Equal remuneration, occupational health and safety in the public place and in offices also, very essential. That must be given to the women their right. Strengthening the legal system is very, very vital. Our legal systems are very poor. So this must be strengthened so that women get justice. Regarding suggestions, I say first research must be improved regarding the women's safety and integration of gender in crime prevention, and also provide research assistance and support to community-based projects, implementation, evaluation. My suggestion to the private sector is that partner with local organizations and municipalities, and finally, and financially support the initiatives promoting women's safety is the need of the hour. And audit the impacts of all decisions. Simply auditing is also not only the solution, audit and also observe them and what are the impacts and study them and take safety and security of the employees on the top agenda so that they can work freely at their workplaces. And to government, my suggestion is develop policies and programs to ensure women's financial autonomy, including women's right to own property. Allocate necessary resources for the development of strategies and initiatives on women's safety and security is important for the government to take further better steps in this regard. Politically and financially support by the local governments is also very important to the women. International networks and UN agencies must come forward and also increase the availability of electronic exchange, that internet, media exchange, technical assistance among the nations is also very important. And another one, support evaluation of progress. Simply periodical evaluation is also very important. Organizing regional conferences, seminars like that. And conclusion, to conclude, I say that implementing above all my suggestions, I suggest that recently the government has introduced several programs that are very good, like programs like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and direct cash transfers to women accounts, Ujjwala scheme, one-stop center scheme, and Sukanya Samriddhi scheme. These are all very good schemes introduced by the Government of India in the right direction. Now the need of the hour is successful implementation of all the existing programs in addition to the introduce new programs. And women's reservation bill is still pending despite almost all national parties declaring commitment to them. But I don't know what is coming in the way of the political parties to implement it. They should take a firm decision and implement as early as possible. Swami Vivekananda has rightly pointed out that a nation which does not respect women will never become great now and nor will never in future. Arise, awake and stop not till the goal is reached. So I conclude that the government take all the steps to reduce the gender gap and achieve the goal of gender inclusive development in very near future. Okay, thank you one and all.